Islam, Yahabashim Shabrak to all the brothers, Shalom Yahweh Shamar, Latham Bashim Al Shah to all the sisters, all right? ISUK Minnesota with Lashawan Qadash class. As you know, it is a language class, okay, every Friday. Salaki once again for the time. It is a little late start, but no sweat, we still are going to go over the lesson for today. But of course, before I start into the lesson, we want to pronounce and touch on the ancient Hebrew, all right? Which, once again, is very, very important. We have to know how to say it, pronounce it, and we are going to go over some examples in a second. I'm giving people a few minutes to chime in to the class, and we are going to get started. All right. Just give y'all a few more minutes, and we'll get started with the lesson. Otherwise, share the content. Share the content, like, subscribe, comment, any questions that you may have as far as the Hebrew. All right. All right, a few more minutes for people to chime in. All right. Shalom Yahweh Shamar, Allah Ta'ala Shem El Shah says. All right, that's brothers and sisters coming in. Go ahead and sign in to the chat. Okay. Sign into the chat, and we are going to get started shortly. Okay. All right. I'm going to go ahead and move forward because we don't have a lot of time. For those that chime in later, don't sweat it. You can always watch the class a little bit later. Okay, so let's get to it. All right, well, first things first. Moving forward with every Lashawan Qadash class that we do, that we teach, we always want to start off with the alphabet. And the reason being is we need to remember, constantly put in our head what we are learning. So just like how in school you learn your ABCs, it's no different than any other language where you have to constantly remind yourself and put into repetition in your head as far as what you're learning when it comes to the Hebrew. So the letters, you got to know the letters in order to know how to say things in Hebrew, how to write it out, how to move forward with the Hebrew. Because if you don't know how to say it just alone on its own, then you won't understand anything else about the Hebrew. Okay? And that should be straightforward, that should be understandable. So, right here, we have the which is AH. This is the first letter or first character of the alphabet. Remember, Esau's language, they start from the beginning right here. This is the beginning for Lashawan Qadash, for the ancient Paleo Hebrew. All right? For us, everything is right to left, not left to right. Okay? So you start here first, then you go towards the left. All right? Right to left, right to left. So, starting with the first letter, we have ba, ga, da, ha, wa, za, ka, ta, ya, ka. So these two are not the same. They may sound similar, but they're not. You got the ka and a k. All right? A k and a k. So once again, ba, ga, da, ha, wa, za, ka, ta, ya, ka, la, ma, na, sa, I, pa, ta, za, qua, ra, sha, and tha. All right? So this is the alphabet. And with these letters, it's going to make up all your words, your sentences, etc. for the ancient Hebrew. This is all you need in order to learn your language. Okay? It's not that complicated, but it does take some time to learn. I believe there's a study out there that says every time a person learns a language, something happens to your brain where like it rewires to relearn or to learn something new. Okay? You build more knowledge when you learn another language. Okay, I forget the terms that they use in science, but pretty much your brain does rewiring to the point where it's helping you learn a new language. And of course, learning anything, you got to constantly keep going over and over it. Otherwise, you're going to lose it. Like they always say in the world, if you don't use your gifts, you're going to lose it. And that's true in a lot of aspects. If you don't use what you have, you won't. I mean, you will forget it. That's why you have notes. When it comes to studying anything, you have notes. If you don't study your notes, you will not remember what when it comes time for a test, when it comes time for a quiz, and that's about life as well. Okay, if you don't use what you've been taught in the Israelite school of universal practical knowledge, you won't know what to do in that time when that situation pops up. All right, sharpen yourself in every way, in every aspect, because especially with World War III, it's time to be sharp. There's no time for slackness, no slothfulness, none of that. Okay, if you want to survive this World War III, if you want to be in the chariots, if you want to, see your family or see your loved ones, survive. I mean, all those things matter. Not everybody's not going to make it, but what you can do is make sure that you are right with the Most High. Make sure that you fighting your demons and yourself constantly. All right. First of all, too, man, learn your language. Unlearn all the things that's in the world. Learn your language. This is very important. It is powerful. It has power in it. It has a lot that goes with knowing your own language. Okay. There's so much historical things that came about the Israelites for them knowing their own language. So moving forward. So Abaga Dahawaza Ka Tayakala Manasai Pataza Kwa Rashata. You could put in a little song if you want to. You can do whatever you need to flashcards to help you remember this order, starting with the and then with the th. All right, in that order. Just like you learned your ABCs, learn this by heart without even looking at the board, looking at a chart or your notes. So moving forward now. So now that we went over that, let's get into something called the 5 W's and a H. Okay. All right. So 5 W's, right? Make that a little bigger. All right. So all right. So all right. 5 W's and a H. And nope. All right. That's what it says. All right. Okay. 5 W's and a H. Some people might know where I'm going with this. Some people might not. Let me see. Oh, there we go. Yeah, 5 W's and a H. Okay. So if you don't know where I'm going with this, no sweat. I'm going to get right into it. All right. And let me talk about this. All right. So just like any class, any language class, right? Once again, going over the basics of any language. You learn about the who, the whens, the whats, the wheres, and the hows. Okay, that's pretty much something that we are going to be touching on today as a foundation for tonight's class. And so also too, we are going to involve precepts, scriptures, where to find these actual words, majority of them, and root words and things of that sort. Okay, and some of these words you may recognize. You may recognize some of these words because of the vocab that we did months ago. If you still have those notes, if you were in that class. Okay. All right. And let me see something real quick. Yeah, damn right, sis. Damn right. And also, too, I'm gonna put something on the screen um, as we go through the class, just to show you where you can find these words at and what website. All right, 1 second. Hmm. Okay. All right. Oh, there we go. All right. Also, too, I got some information about a very accurate um, app for the Hebrew that you can get on your phone besides Blue Letter Bible. Now, if you still want Blue Letter Bible on your phone, you can just go to the App Store or Play Store or Apple Store or App Store. Yeah, App Store, or you can go on to the Play Store. But now there's another one that me and Akim, who are doing the Lashawan Qadash all over the entire UPK, all over the globe, that has been very helpful and accurate. And I would like to share that with the class later on. All right. If I forget, please somebody in the chat remind me. Okay. If I do, Salakia, but someone just keep that as a note. All right, so 5 W's and an H. So the first one, of course, so let me see. All right, it's going to be who. Okay, who. Then we have what. Where. When. Okay. Now I'm going to stop with when. And you'll see why. So first we're going to start with who, what, where, and when, and then the rest in a second. All right, we are going to break these down. Okay. Now, who in Hebrew, and also too, before we continue, right? One thing I do want to say, damn right, Aqua, the water to you. Very much appreciate it. So understand that there are other Hebrew words for who, what, where, and when in some cases. Now, not every single one, but if you happen to see a Hebrew word different than what I'm going to put on the board, understand context. All right, understand context and everything. Everything has context, not just language and life, but just as far as language, it all depends on the context. All right, because words do change based on whether it's past tense, future tense, present tense, etc. And we should all be able to agree on that because that's how language works. So, who is going to be M-A-Y-A, Maya, not Maya, but Maya. Okay, Maya is going to be who in Hebrew. So what you're going to have right here is the ma, right, and the ya. Maya. Maya is going to be who in the Hebrew. And this is where you can find it in Blue Letter Bible. Okay? So hashtag or # H 4310. Okay? Maya. Maya is going to be that in Hebrew. Hey, shalom, Yahweh Shai Barakatah. To my brother Kawanya Allah. Trooper, man. What's going on now? Okay. All right, y'all give me a second here. All right. Now that we have Maya on the board, right? Let me show you how you can find this on your phone, laptop, any device that you may have on Blue Letter Bible. And let me go ahead and share the screen with you. Let's see. All right. Where we at? Okay. So I'm going to put it on full screen, right? Just real quick. Let me see. All right. Give me 1 second to lock it. Okay. All right. Make sure you guys can still hear me. If y'all can still hear me, put a 1 in the chat. I want to see something. If If y'all can still hear me, put a 1 in the chat. All right, Most High in Christ. All right, let me get back to it. The water. All right, so for the word Maya, right? What you want to put in is, so when you go to blueletterbible.org, I always say .com, .org, same damn thing. So blueletterbible.org, you go right here where it says search the Bible, right? You go into the search engine or search bar. What you can do is simply type in the # H4310. You hit this right here, which is the search engine bar, and then boom. Let's see what happens. So it takes you right to it, okay? It takes you right to the word. And this is the ma, and that's the ya. Now, this is in Assyrian, but we know how to translate it into the actual Hebrew. So this is the ma and the ya. Now these are by itself, not together. And here it is right here, as far as the root word. Okay. So, pronoun of persons, as is of things, who, occasionally by a peculiar idiom of things. And that's self-explanatory what that is. So yeah, who, any, whose, what, if any, whom. All right, simple as that. So now that we went over that, right, let's go back to here. So that's who, which is Maya in Hebrew. Okay. All right. Now we have what. Now this should be in your notes as far as what. Where should be in your notes as well, as far as the things that we went over for the past couple of months. But for time's sake, I'm going to go ahead and give you all the answers. So what is going to be ma? M-A-H. Ma. Okay. Ma. M-A-H. And with ma, that's going to be the ma and the ha. All right. Let me see. All right. All right. Now these are going to be connected together. Because you got the ma by itself, but it's connected to the ha towards the end of the word. The A is missing from the ha, so that's how you know it is connected. Okay. So ma. So if you were to type this in, M-A, I'm going to type this in either in the Hebrew or in the Syrian. This will come up, and this will show this as the definition. Okay. All right. Now, where? Where is probably a word most likely. You guys have seen this because we went over how to ask somebody where they are from. Okay. So you have the you have the ya, and you have the ha, right? Ya, like where? Ya, ya. Okay. You got the ya, and the ha, but of course the a drops off from the ha. So this is how it will look in parentheses. You got AH, which is the You got the ya. 1 second. Yep, you got the ya. And then you have the ha. Once again. So, ya, and ha. The is by itself. The ya and the ha is connected. All right. All right. When. Now this is how things get more into detail. So when. Actually, I'm gonna show you better than I can tell you at this point. Let me show you guys something as far as the word when. All right, so going back into blueletterbible.org, right? I'm gonna go back to the main page. Really, you don't have to. I'm just doing it just to move a little slow for those people who do not know how to operate this website. So going back to the front page, or you can go to search, right? You can do that too. I'm just going to deal with the first page. You want to type in the # or hashtag H4970. And you either hit enter or search. See what comes up. All right. Now let's see if we can hear this. Let me see. Let's listen to the pronunciation. You know what? That's don't worry, no sweat. So right here is a M, right here is a th, and right here is a y. So this right here is a M, the one that's highlighted. This is a th that is highlighted, and this is a y that is highlighted. So right here, M, th, e. That's not really how it's supposed to sound. That's why I'm gonna help you out. This is your base right here. The part that I keep highlighted, that's your base. You go off of that, and based on how you know what the M, the th, and the y say, it's gonna help you sound it out better than this right here. Okay? All right. So now let's go back to the main screen. So, all right. So when we have the M, then we have the th, and then we have the y. Now I'm not going to change anything because that is correct. Mathaya. Mathaya is how you would pronounce that. And this is the Hebrew for it. If you choose to write in the Assyrian, that is your choice. We are just going to keep it strictly with the ancient Hebrew for the moment, for the time being. Okay. So, lift up, and then we have the right, and they're all together, or they're all by themselves. They are not connected together whatsoever. Mathaya is when in Hebrew. And then this is where you can find it. Really, you can find this not only in the Blue Letter Bible, you can also find this in the app that I'm going to give you towards the end of class. All right. So you can put H 44970. 4970 is where you can find this Blue Letter Bible or any concordance that you may have. It should be accurate to this. Majority of all concordance have the same numbers. Just like, you know, because a concordance is a dictionary, you know, I mean, as well of itself. Okay. So yeah. Yep. So # H 4970. Okay. All right. And these are the examples that I'm going to show you where you can find this at too. All right. And you guys want to write this down as I show you. Let me see. Let me see. Y'all bear with me real quick. All right. I want you guys to write these precepts down because this is going to be examples, right? And we are going to go over these precepts, each and every one of them, just to give the you know, the backstory of it. First one is going to be Nehemiah chapter 2, verse 6. Okay. You have Psalms or Psalm, yeah, Psalms 94 and 8. Also, don't forget, so with Psalms, right, it's going to continue the chapter 101, verse 2. It continues chapter 119, verse 82 through 84. Okay? That's all a Psalms. Then we have Proverbs 69 or 6:9. Yeah, because there's no 69 chapter. Yep, Proverbs 6 and 9. Chapter 6, verse 9. Then we have Amos 8 and 5. All right. And by the way, it's like, you know, one thing is when it comes into the Hebrew, right? Let me put this down. So. Okay. When it comes into the Hebrew, right, or pronunciation, or not the Hebrew right now, but when it comes to the pronunciation on how to say the correct way of the names of the books, right? You want to be very, you know, very careful how you're saying it because we don't want to sound like our enemies. And that's our enemies. I'm talking about the fake Israelites, Esau, the oppressor, the Muslims, you know, the Arabs, and so on and so forth. This is not Amos, it's Amos. And the proof of that is Amawas. Amos, Amawas, Amos. Okay? Amawas, Amos. That's how you pronounce that. I hear brothers say all different types of ways. You don't want to sound like you don't know what you're saying. Okay? For example, Colossians. It's really Colossians. Okay? There's a lot more to go over. Okay, so that's just something I just want to mention real quick because you may, you know, run into those things. You may run into someone correcting you on how to say something properly. You know, just listen to it, take heed to it because they know. All right, because they know they're trying to help you out. So moving on. We're gonna go over each scripture. All right, so let's start here just to show that That's good to have examples so you know where things are. So you ain't got to guess. All right. Let's see. All right. Let's pull up Nehemiah chapter 2, verse 6 and see what it says. Let's see. All right. Yep. So Nehemiah chapter 2, verse 6. And you always have to spell it out. You can abbreviate it. It should still come up. And make sure it is KJV, King James Version. All right. Nothing else. No NIV. None of that. Okay. All right. So it reads Nehemiah chapter 2, verse 6. And the king said unto me, the queen also sitting by him, for how long shall thy journey be? And when wilt thou return? So it pleased the king to send me, and I set him a time. So what this is speaking about is a king, right? So a king is asking someone a question, and a very key word of that is when. Like when and pretty much how long are you going to be sojourning? How long are you going to be, journeying on and about? Okay? That key word is when, right here, when. All right, moving on. Let's see what else. Let's see what else is there. So let's go back. The next one we have is Psalm. All right, Psalms 94, verse 8. KJV once again. Psalms chapter 94, verse 8. Understand ye brutish among the people, and ye fools, when will ye be wise? And you know what? Good night. I've been looking for this precept. Good night. All right. Good night. This is one I was looking for not too long ago. All right. It reminds you of the precept of Proverbs chapter 1, verse 21. How long will you simple ones love simplicity? That's a very good precept to this scripture right here. Proverbs 1 and 21. I will write that down if I was you. Okay. All right. Let me keep going. Let's see. Okay. So the key word once again is when will you be wise? So the word when, like how long? Like when? What is it going to take you? Like is it going to be the time when World War III comes? Like for example. All right. Now let's put it up here. Psalms. In the search bar right here, as you see me typing, Psalms chapter 101, right? Verse 2. Enter. Okay, here we go. Let's see. I will behave, Psalms chapter 101, verse 2. I will behave myself wisely in a perfect way. O when wilt thou come unto me? I will walk within my house with a perfect heart. Now, this is a very, very powerful precept. What it's saying is, oh, when wilt thou come unto me? So I will behave myself wisely in a perfect way. Or when wilt thou come unto me? Meaning the Spirit of the Lord. I will walk within my house with a perfect heart. Okay? This is a beautiful precept. Okay? So the key word once again is when. And we are going to go all to each one because once again, these precepts are heavy. And just to, drag on the point of the keyword. All right, so Psalms 119 or 119, verse 82. Okay. All right. Shoot. Okay, there we go. Psalms chapter 119, verse 82. Mine eyes fell for thy word, saying, when wilt thou comfort me? Another heavy precept. Okay. My eyes fell for thy word, saying, when wilt thou comfort me? Very deep, very deep. Verse 84, or better yet, verse 83. For I am become like a bottle in the smoke, yet do I not forget thy statutes. Verse 84. How many are the days of thy servant? When wilt thou execute judgment on them that persecute me? Now, this is a very great, very great precepts right here. But with this, I will have to teach a class on this one to really break down the whole spirit behind what this is speaking about. Okay. But if you want to read the whole chapter yourself, you go ahead. If you've got questions, you can bring them to class. Moving on to the last two, Proverbs, chapter 6, verse 9. Okay, KJV. Now it reads, how long wilt thou sleep, O sluggard? When wilt thou arise out of thy sleep? And we just spoke about this. There's no time to slack. There's no time to, be slothful. We have to keep our eyes wide open. Not necessarily literally, in a literal sense, more of, so really what's happening to us as a people, mentally, physically, spiritually, emotionally. All those things matter. You have to be awake in all those things to really see what's going on. If you're asleep in every way possible, you are going to be lazy in the faith of the Lord. You are going to be, and in the work of the Lord, you are going to be lazy to fight against your oppressor, to fight against the drug addiction, the envy and strife against each other, all those things. You are going to be lazy. And you won't have no fight to even fight the things that you are dealing with in your own life. Right? Let's move forward. Amos chapter 8, verse 5. Okay? Answer. Amos chapter 8, verse 5. Saying, when will the new moon be gone, that we may sell corn, and the Sabbath, that we may set forth wheat, making the ephah small, and the shekel great, and falsifying the balances by deceit. Now, this precept right here is a very great precept. You probably don't understand it. I'll have to get backstory a little bit later, but I do not want to get too much off topic of the class because other ones are straightforward. This one will take some more breaking down to get into. Okay? So now let's go back, right? So that was a little bit of that. Okay, just to show y'all some examples. All right, so let's get back to it. All right. Hopefully, everyone who's watching wrote that down. That's very important. All those precepts. All right. So now we're going to why. Okay. I'm going to write it again, and I'm going to explain the reason of it being two. All right. So the first one, why? You have the mud. You have the duh. You have the wa and the I. Okay. How you pronounce it is mudawai. Mudawai. Sounds funny because you hear W-A-I-Y. That's how you would say that by itself, Y. It sounds like that. But a Y is how you pronounce this right here. And then in parentheses, it means all. Okay? Now, the second one, Y. It's going to be ma. Okay? I put a dash in between it on purpose for a reason. Because ma is right here, what? Right? But when you put the love with it, I'm gonna show you what that is. Oh, one more thing. So I forgot to. Um, also in parentheses too. Of course, you got the ma, you got the da, and you got the wa and the I. Ma, da, y. Mother, y. Okay. Lama. You got the la, you got the ma, and then you have the ha. Lama. Just like that. All right, just like that. Okay. Oh, okay. All right. All right. All right. And this right here, you can find this in any coordinates for this one right here specifically. #H 4100. And let's go ahead and find it on the website. All right. Okay. All right. So back on the website, you want to type in #. You want to type in H 4100. Let's see what comes up. So it's going to say ma, right? Ma. So now, if when we first went into ma, it's like it, maya actually. When we went to maya, it actually had the root word as H4100, which is ma, right? That is the root word. Now, does anybody know? Does anybody know what love means in Hebrew, or as a prefix, I should say? What does love mean as a prefix in Hebrew? Someone let me know in the chat. If you recall us going over the prefix and suffix months ago, love should be in there. LA. Okay. So this is the root word, which is ma, M-A-H, right? But the love connected to the ma, it changes what it means. Just a tad bit. But very it goes together. Okay. Okay. All right, so what do you think the word is saying then, sis? As far as the second Y. Lama. What do you think it's saying? And if you don't know, it's no sweat. Because really what I'm doing is I'm breaking down all the different who's, what, where's, when's, why's, and how's. So really, just answer the question real quick, right? The second why is just a different context of how to say why. In a like if you were to explain something in a sentence, okay? Like for example, my why is all. Like why y'all or why all of you are doing this or doing that, right? Why lama is more of how would you say it? Why lama, right? Is more like how you said two. La is two. Like hold on, so like I'm trying to explain it in a way. There you go. There you go. Exactly. Like because. Pretty much, yeah, like because like why in that sense, okay? And this is just the basics. We are gonna actually plug these in at a different time just to show you examples of how to use these words. All right. Now let me see. Okay. All right. So now let's move forward to the how part. All right. Let's get into that. All right. So now how. You got one. You got two. You got three. And then you got four. You try to do it like that on purpose. And then you got five. Different ways on how to use the word how. Okay. Then I'm gonna show you two examples. I'm gonna show you like 2 or 3 examples in Hebrew. Okay. All right. The first one, how. How you say it in Hebrew based on the context. You got the then you have the right? And then you have the ka. Now I've actually taught this word multiple times. Ayak is how you pronounce that. Ayak. Ayak is how you pronounce that. Okay? I've taught that before in the past. Ayak. Ayak. Then let me just. Okay. Ayak is how you pronounce that. Now the second one, right, is ma za. Now this word has came up in Lashawan Qadash a few times. It's za. Okay. Now once again, I'm gonna break this down more, right? As far as the different variations of it. I'm gonna get into that more next week. So stay tuned for that for next week, right? This is just the basics. Right now, I'm just gonna give you little by little so you can retain the information. So that way I'm not, throwing everything so fast at anybody that's watching the class. That's very important. You have to take it step by step. But just write this down for your notes so we can go over it more next week. All right. So now how? Another one, a different variation. Kama. And yes, I did not forget the Hebrew. I'm going to get into that in a second. Okay, how long? I'd, which is ID, I'd. Yeah. Okay. When, in parentheses, that should give you a hint. And you could find this H49 70 as well because of Mataya. I Mataya. So I Mataya. 2 words. Now, how long again? Still going to be I, but na. Okay. All right. All right. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Okay. All right. So yeah, so I got a few examples to show you in the Hebrew real quick. I can break it all down a little bit later, but I'm just going to give it to you guys for time's sake, because there's a lot more I want to show you guys next week for this class as far as this format, but just keep this in mind for right now. And let's go ahead and write out the Hebrew real quick. So boom, we got the and the and the ka. Yuck, right? We have the ma and the connected, and then we have the za and the connected. Now, I put a dash there for a reason, but you can connect it together. But I'm separating it because 2 different words, but when they combine together, it's how. But based on the context, I'll explain that next week. It's a lot. It goes a lot more deeper than what you think. Okay. What's the Hebrew? Kama, right? Kama. So this one we can kind of write together. So you got the ka, you got the ma, and the right? Kama. Okay. All right. Kama. Right. So otherwise, right here above, we are going to do, so since I is by itself in a sense, so we got the I and the da connected, and then we have the ma, the and the ya. So ma, the. Oh, it's like actually. The ma, the and the ya is all by itself. I, ma, the ya. The last one is going to be I once again. The I and the da, and then we have the the na, and the So the is by itself, the na and the is connected. So boom. Okay. If anyone has any questions,